there are other issues going on down in Florida. They figure that the most important issue there is passing a law saying that doctors can't ask children, pediatricians can't ask children certain questions. It's okay to say, "Hey, is somebody abusing you? Hey, is somebody harming you? Does your family have a swimming pool out back? That might put you at risk? And if so, here's a little brochure on pool safety, or maybe you need to talk to your parents about learning how to swim or drowning." But you are not allowed to say, "Do you have a gun in the house?" So that you can say to dad or mom or whoever owns the gun, do you have a trigger lock on that thing? Do you know about securely safe? Because this, after all, is one of the leading causes of death among children in the United States. Noel Flasterstein is on the line with us. He is a constitutional attorney and gun advocate. GunRightsForYou.com is his website. Noel, what's wrong with that?
Well, with the bill as it is, and I do strongly support our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. I do believe that everyone has the right to firearm ownership. It's one of the things that separates us as a people, as a country, from the rest of the world. When I look at this bill, I have some problems. There's things that I like about it as well. And the main problem I have is, if you violate this bill, or this law, if it becomes law, if it's approved by Governor Scott, physicians, if they ask these questions of their patients, parents, they're looking up to 5 years in jail and a $5 million fine. I think that's a little excessive. And I think most people are keying around, we're protecting the patient's privacy rights. And I don't necessarily know if that's really what's good about this bill. Well,
first of all, under the HIPAA law, if the doctor learns that there's a gun in the home, he can't publicize that. That would be, that would send him to jail. And secondly, I don't get it why you, representing yourself as a conservative, would say that you want more government intervention in my relationship with my doctor or my kid's relationship with my doctor.
I want the government to intervene when I need constitutional protections, and I don't know if this bill necessarily addresses this. Now,
wait a second. These doctors, I don't know of any pediatricians in America who have successfully wrestled a gun away from a family. Do you?
No. So it almost seems it's ridiculous, but that's what this bill looks like on the surface. But here's what it's really designed for, and here's why it even made its way to the Florida Senate and House floor. Because the
NRA put a lot of money behind it. And the NRA is representing the interests of a multi-billion-dollar drug, it's associated with the drug industry, but, weapons industry.
No, it's not because the NRA put money behind it and said we got to have these doctors. I don't care if a doctor asks if I have a firearm or this or that.
You don't think the legislature in Florida is prioritizing what they're doing based on which oligarch comes to them and offers them the most money?
No,
are you that naive?
Not at all. Yes, I would be that naive. What the Florida legislature does is it recognizes gun rights. It recognizes our Constitution. We have a very strong
Supreme Court already did that.
Well, it's a good thing that the Florida legislature's following it. But what they're doing here is, I don't think this really
isn't recognizing gun rights, Noel. This is saying if you're an MD and you're talking to a kid about the wide variety of health dangers, like, do you have a bicycle? Do you ride with a helmet or not? I mean, if you're talking to kids about things that can kill them, and one of those things happens to be one particular item that could kill them, if you raise that topic with that child, you go to prison. That seems to me like the ultimate Big Brother George Orwell censorship on behalf of a multi-billion-dollar industry that makes a fortune selling and manufacturing weapons in the United States.
You know what? I would agree with you, except for one thing. This was not the true reason why this bill was put together and why it was enacted.
So where's the big problem of doctors, ruining gun rights?
Here's the problem. This bill is actually designed to protect patients' rights, not that they have guns or that they have privacy,
Wait a minute, you're going to protect my right by saying that if my doctor asks me a question, he goes to prison?
Well, how would you like it if your doctor was able to ask your child, which I guess they legally can, do you have pornography in your house? Do your parents do they engage in this type of activity?
You know, I have no problem with any of that. If my doctor is asking my kid, and all of my kids are grown now, but if my doctor was asking my kid, first of all, parents are almost always, virtually always in the room with the doctor when they're examining a child. There always has to be another adult in the room. Secondly, if a doctor is asking inappropriate questions, I go to a different doctor.
Yes, you can. Now, you're right. Now, what if this doctor asks the child, hey, I understand you have two dads, Steve and George, and are they homosexual? And then, you know, he finds out, yes, this child has homosexual parents. Well, you know what? I'm not going to treat you. I don't like homosexuals.
But, you know, if the doctor does that, then I would, and I was a gay couple, part of a gay couple, and they hassled my kid, I would probably stand out in front with a picket sign. I would publicize it. I would do everything I could to make that doctor's life, you know, to make it clear what was going on. But I'm not going to ask the government to step in and intervene between the doctor-patient relationship. I mean, is nothing sacred left in America anymore for you guys if it has the word guns attached to it?
But what happens? We can use the gay example or the gun example, which is a real life example.
But the gay example is not a real life example, so you can't use it.
Okay, let's use the gun example. We'll use it. I'm showing you the ridiculousness of the situation by using that analogy. With the gun example, the whole reason this law came into effect is Ocala, which is Central Florida area, pediatricians started questioning parents about firearm ownership.
They've been doing that nationwide for decades.
Okay, great. They refuse to answer.
A lot of kids die because guns are unsecured in their homes. And I'm guessing probably a lot of kids' lives have been saved because a pediatrician asked the question and said to Dad, you ought to put a trigger lock on your gun. You got a 5-year-old here who realizes you have a gun, and you probably didn't even know that your 5-year-old realizes you've got a gun.
You know what? You're right. Let the doctor give all the good information that he can. But here's the problem. When this Ocala physician questioned these parents about firearm ownership, they refused to answer it. He said, well, you know what? I'm not going to treat you anymore. Hey, you know what? You're right.
That's within his rights, too. And by the way, your gay example is a terrible metaphor because having a couple of gay parents is not going to cause you to be dead. But having a firearm in the house causes a lot of children to become dead.
Well, if I was a physician, I would say, do your parents have a firearm? And if the kid said no, I'd say, you know what, you need to tell mom and dad to go get one, because if somebody tries to break in your house, at least
that's fine, Noel. I don't have a problem with your saying that. You know, if you want to go through 8 years of medical school and 2 years of specialty and become a pediatrician and say that to kids, God bless you. But I don't want the government in the room when I'm talking to my doctor. I think this whole idea of we're going to shrink the government down to the size where it can fit inside a woman's vagina or between a doctor and his patient is wrong.
You have a privilege between you and your physician. Acknowledge. The government's already in there. And what this does, now let's go to the example. The parents, the doctor says, I'm not going to treat you anymore. I don't like gun people. I don't like you not answering my questions. Maybe he doesn't care if they own a firearm. But what happens if their insurance provider only limits to where they can get treatment and they can't get another doctor?
Okay, Noel, I'm going to let you have the last word on that. We're out of time. Gunrightsforyou.com. Noel Flasterstein, thanks for being with us, Noel.